1965, I was sent to Vietnam as an advisor to Vietnamese infantry unit. After a short period of time there, I stepped on a mine. I woke up in the Philippine Islands in Clark Air Force Base. I was paralyzed from the waist down. I was declared never to walk again. The doctors were initiating my medical discharge papers. But at night, I would slip out of bed and crawl to a wall, using my elbows and my chin. My back would just be killing me. I'd be crying. But I'd get to the wall, and I'd back myself up against the wall, and I'd stand there. I'd stand there and move my toes, right and left. And I wanted to walk. I wanted to go back to Vietnam. And I saw a lot of other patients coming back, limbs missing. I wanted to go back. I was determined. Because I remember when I was taught in jump school, our old master sergeant would tell me, Benavides, quitters never win and winners never quit. What are you? So I'm a winner. I remember that my leader would tell me, faith, determination, and a positive attitude. A positive attitude will carry you further than ability. You can do it, Benavides. You can do it. I never forgot those 3 words. Never. 9 months later, here comes my medical discharge papers. And I told the doctor, look what I can do. He said, Sergeant, I'm sorry. Even if you can stand up, you'll never be able to walk. I jumped out of bed and I stood up right before him. My back was hurting, aching. I was crying. And I moved just a little bit. The doctor said, Benavides, if you walk out of this room, I'll tear the papers up. I walked out of that ward at Beach Pavilion. I started my therapy again, running 5 or 10 miles a day, doing 50, 100 push-ups. And I made 3 parachute jumps in one day. I was ready to go back to Vietnam, physically and mentally ready to go back. In 1968, the latter part of April, I was inserted, my buddy and I, to gather intelligence information behind enemy lines. After 2 days on the ground, my buddy was shot through the eye, the back, and legs. Our mission was completed, but I didn't want to leave my buddy behind. I called in for an extraction helicopter to come and get us out. They came in with the McGuire rig. McGuire rig is nothing but a piece of rope, nylon rope to hook. We hooked on, the enemy was firing at us. Our rope started to twist and rub. You know, nylon, it burns when it rubs. And the commissioned officer that looked, and when he saw those 2 ropes burning, he immediately tied himself with a piece of rope around his waist, and he pulled himself out of the helicopter and undid those 2 ropes, separated them. That's dedication. That's love of fellow men in the country. I'll never forget that man. We landed in a safe spot. My buddy was taken to the hospital. I was in another staging area, waiting for our next assignment. When I heard on the radio, then I heard a voice, get us out of here, get us out of here, come in and get us out quick, ASAP. I asked the pilot, who are the people on the ground? He said, hey, it's that black NCO, that non-commissioned officer saved your life the other day, remember? So it was an instant reaction. I saw a bag of medical supplies, picked it up, went over to my helicopter. I was hitting them out with the butt of the weapon. My jaws were locked. After my last return back to the helicopter, when I was boarded on, I was holding my intestines in my hand. Blood was flowing on both sides of the helicopter. When we landed, and I remember that my feet had been lifted, and I was inserted into the body bag, and I could hear that zipper coming up, and I thought, oh my God, no. My eyes were shut because I had blood all over my face, my eyes, and the blood had dried up in my eyelids. And I couldn't talk because my jaws were locked, and I could hear that zipper coming up. And one of my buddies was doing the Mexican head dance, and he was yelling at the doctor, that's Roy Benavides. The doctor said, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for him. And finally, I made the luckiest shot I ever made in my life. I spit in the doctor's face. So the doctor said, I think he'll make it. So I was cleaned up, put in a helicopter, and I was crying. I was moving so much that the co-pilot, he happened to look back, and he thought that I was gasping for air, so he gets out of his seat, get his bayonet out, and he's going to do a track on me, and I'm about to kick him out of the helicopter. That's just too much for one day. We landed in the hospital at Long Beach. I was wheeled to the operating room. I saw this nurse on her hands and knees crying, yelling, asking God, why do you do this to these men? Why? Just crying. And I turned a little bit to my left. I saw on the other operating table a man that had both legs and both arms missing. I appreciate the title, but the real heroes are the ones that gave their life for this country.